channel. This is the second day of playoffs. We have a best of 3 series for you to determine who's going to be falling out of this and who will be moving on into the winner's lower bracket. I am Bahamut, joined by Dunkstik once again. How are you? Are you ready for this best of 3?
Day number 2. Getting ready for it. I am super ready. It looks like we have picked up Freebirds versus Divination. This is the semifinals for the losers bracket. It looks like on the road here, we had Divination losing out in the first round in a very tight 2-1 against Necrodancers. Freebirds actually making it to the semis in the winners bracket, dropping 1-2 to Psystorm, and now meeting up in the semis of the loser bracket. This is for tournament life, best of 3.
That's the terrifying part too. Is, I mean, we talked a little bit about this last night, but this is the losers bracket. This is, your 7 weeks. This is the culmination of 7 weeks of play and practicing and scrimming. And, well, you could fall out or you could progress and potentially go on to fight the winner of Necrodancers versus Reborn and stay alive in this tournament, potentially get that crucible spot and, try and get that entry into the HGC. This is where the grit and the grime is. And I'm really, really ecstatic to be casting this match with you. And it looks like we're having a lot of the teams saying that they're ready to go. But I don't know, do you want to talk a little bit about the map bans and map choices here?
Yeah, actually, we did see already the map bans. Divination has been sticking with a Sky Temple ban, and Freebirds has banned out Brax's Holdout. So we're not going to see any Zerg waves today. And Divination has chosen Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 1.
Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, I think we actually did see this last night in our first best of 3, and I think I did write down which teams. That was Reborn versus Psystorm, and that was on Tomb of the Spider Queen, I think, for the first map. And it is a great map because it is rotational based. It is very brawly. There's a lot of great fights that we're going to see here. But the big thing is you can get out macroed by a team and just outplayed so very easily. And do you think this might be the case in this situation, especially with Freebirds going into Divination? Freebirds notoriously being a very strong team.
Yeah, and this is really going to be the telltale where these teams are at right now. Divination on the up and coming. Freebirds a little bit falling out of the top 2. Still staying there with points, but their last few weeks haven't been the best showings, with I think 1 week actually being a no-show. But we are into the map bans and snap banning the Diablo on the side of Freebirds, not letting it go through. Tell us a little bit about the map, Bahamut.
Well, I mean, Tomb of Spider Queen, we typically see drafts go in the way of a 4 and a 1, meaning that you have a 4-member rotation between top and mid to soak experience as well as collect gems. You often do then see heroes that quest talent through that very well. Things like Thrall, things like Hailthos, things like Jaina. A lot of those heroes, for example, give they can stack up while you're making these rotations as well as become very, very strong in the late half of the game. And then bottom lane, we often see strong solo laners. So at this point, the ban phase that we're seeing, it looks like we're just taking out the mobility on the side of Divination, and we're looking at just a big old wombo taken away on Freebirds. But we still, as this entire tournament we've been casting, at least on this channel, Decker Kane, first priority or first ban priority.
Number 1, when you're going to fight people, bring your walking stick. Number 1. Number 2, bring a book. That way you can really school them. Kane brings both.
Exactly.
But it is a Kane snap block.
And that is, it's such a strong lockup. But the thing is, they go ahead and say, well, we'll just get some displacement and pick up Junkrat and Urel. Strong solo laner, and then great poke and disruption from that Junkrat.
Yeah, and he's actually seen a little bit of a resurgence in these playoffs so far. He's a very strong poke hero. He has very good sustained AoE clear. On a map like this where you're trying to turn in, he can actually sit very far away and kind of force you off just with timing of his bombs. And then we see Murden. Murden has been very popular lately. His pure survivability and the burst potential he provides with that stun lockdown on his Q, something really to be on the lookout here. And he does really well against Iriel. I've actually done it where you take the Skullcracker at level 7. The triple auto attack stun is so detrimental to a channeling hero like Iriel to interrupt her skill set.
And even then, just the brawliness and the engagement factor is so strong from it. I really, really like this. I'm curious to see how Freebirds are going to utilize it, if they're going to be playing it a little bit more on the slower side, or if they're just going to be engaging hard and diving hard. Now, their composition really doesn't lean that way, but they go ahead and have the Blaze Band out against them. They do need a solo laner, and they actually take away the Johanna. Strong on this map, the blinds are great into the Rainer, as well as the Condemned to pull in the minion waves as you make these 4-member rotations between top and mid. But Divination here, they're going to need some sort of wave clear and a main tank and a support.
Yeah, and looking at what's already taken for the side of Freebirds, this could be the opportunity to pull out the Rhaegar. We're actually going to see the Nubrak and Greymane first, though.
Ooh.
Greymane's actually been very popular. The triple ban actually giving Greymane his own little niche back into the meta, with high priority bans like Phoenix and Genji being taken off. We're actually seeing a lot more play from him.
I like it. Actually, taking that themselves on the side of Divination, I want to say that Freebirds might have been leaning into that themselves, because I think it would have been great for the rotation, would have paired well with the Murden for the dive potential, but they still pick up a Leoric for that solo lane. We did see last night it is strong into the Urel as into the Blaze, so we'll see how that matchup works out in bottom lane. And then Thrall in the rotations, that Crash Lightning, maybe we see that talent being picked up, and as that gets stacked up, you really see some value here. But they need this last pick on the side of Divination, Duncan. It's got to be a support. Do we see maybe Alex Draza or Stukov?
It's actually, wow.
Ooh,
I don't think any of us were expecting that.
This is so old. I haven't seen a Lucy on Team of Spider Queen in a very long time.
And actually, this is probably one of Wolf's favorite heroes. He actually played in the top 4, the final 4 of Heroes of the Dorms back in 2016. 2016. Or is it 2017? I might be getting my years mixed up. It was last year, so probably 17. There's actually a clip of him escaping from the entire enemy team as Lucio. Fast on his feet. He is very quick with those rollerblades on his feet.
Yeah, the ability to, one, boost your own speed, then boost it on top of that, and then to be able to take talents even at level 1 to boost it while wall riding is awesome here. And so the other thing too is Lucio, the reason I was saying, I haven't seen it long time in Tomb of Spider Queen, it's that rotational thing. That was those rotations I was talking about at the start here. 4 members between top and mid. Lucio, speed boost, then heals the team. Speed boost, and you just rotate through those abilities, and then your team can easily, doesn't even really have to mount up in some situations, and you might be able to out macro the enemy team. And maybe that's the direction they're going for on Divination.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Interesting composition from the side of Divination. It's a little bit of few items we haven't really been seeing recently. Nubrak has been kind of a flavor pick all tournament long so far. But I do want to talk about the combo we're seeing from Freebirds, the Thrall Leoric with the Rainer. We just saw last night how powerful Leoric's level 20 talent Buried Alive is. The Silence with the Entomb is extremely huge playmaking capability. Thrall with Sundering, which has been the more popular pick than Earthquake actually on this stream. The setup for it is there for it. So I'd like to see what Freebird's going to do it. But this is game number 1 of the semifinals, losers bracket of the HGC Open playoffs. On the blue side, we do have Freebirds, How Win on Thrall, Fancy Pants playing Leoric, Caesar Salad on Deckard, Diesel playing Murden, and Unaverted playing Rainer.
And on the right-hand side, we are going to be having Divination. We'll have Noah on the Junkrat. Big is going to be on that Greymane. Liam will be on the Urel. Wolf going to be on that Lucio. And Mysticles rounding out the team on a Nubarak. And Dunk, getting into this, we actually do have Echo the Elements from that Thrall, so going to be stacking up off of the minion wave here. But I don't know. I mean, as we get into this, the rotations are just going to start out. We actually don't even really have anyone breaking out into mid for a brawl just yet.
Yeah, actually Noah just peeking with his bombs, just getting some damage down. Trying to get that poke in. It looks like they're going to split up a little bit. Ooh, they're waiting here. They're waiting for someone to go in. Actually, no, just going to go ahead and clear it out. Just letting their Junkrat and a Nubrak solo out. Getting a little bit of push here. Leoric getting on a big drop in the drain. The knockback actually coming in. His Spectral Wraith is already out. Sorry, his Wraith Walk is already out. Unaverted, though, is doing a ton of damage on the side, missing the shotgun to the face on Big. Gonna actually hit the root on Lucio walking into it. Nothing really gained here for the side of Divination. A unique decision by them.
Yeah, it's interesting what they're doing here. Maybe it's throwing Freebirds off a little bit because it is kind of slowing their rotations between lanes, and it is kind of yielding them a bit of an advantage in experience, but not really much in this situation as we continue to have this brawl in bottom lane. Fancy Pants going into Liam, and it doesn't look like we're going to be having too much just yet, at least death-wise, as we just continue to have a different set of rotations coming out, and some new play. Maybe this is the reason for the Lucios to negate that top to mid rotation.
Yeah, and it looks like kind of flipping the strategy on its head. It's very common to do the top to mid, and they're doing what it looks to be mid to bottom. Just flipping the norm on them. It has actually netted them a quarter of a level lead. It looks like some soak has been lost from the side of Freebirds, but overall not too much gained. Trying to actually do the siege camp. Fancy Pants sniffing it out, not letting Big do what he wants.
Yeah. These teams, I mean, it's a little bit of a slow start here as we do feel a little bit of a brawl once again in the bottom lane. Fancy Pants stepping up, but Liam has that righteous hammer, just knock him away, and they say, no, we're done with your spectral leech. That's going to end now, and right back into the other lanes as we do have How going to be going ahead and continuing to stack up that crash, or excuse me, the Echo of Elements, but Noah in a bit of a bad spot will get the concussion mine out, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and looking at the gem count, both teams pretty even. Nothing to gain. Fancy Pants actually taking a ton of damage from Big, but Unaverted and Deckard swooping down on him. Diesel trying to find the stun, not going to find it. We talked about the speed boost from Lucio. Gonna get them out of there. Swift and Righteous.
Yeah, Swift and Righteous indeed, as we actually get the Impale coming out into a couple members. Liam stepping up as well. Gonna move them away with the Righteous Hammer, and they continue once again. They're gonna go back to just soaking up the gems, 38 to 24. They've got a couple in on both sides. We're not too far off from the turn-in phase here as Diesel steps up on Wolf, getting a lot of damage out. They're gonna need to back out and heal up, maybe even tap well.
And I would like to point out, we do see Iriel going with the Aegis of Light at 4, which makes it so if she lands on her allies with her Avenging Wrath, she gives them 35 armor. That is a very significant boost in armor. Coupled with the large shield at 10 from Lucio, that's going to be a big game changer. But we see Lucio fall down the bottom lane. It looks like Caesar Salad and Unaverted able to pick him off. He is very squishy. Mystically is now getting caught out as well by Diesel. Gotta stop the bleeding. Freebirds taking the advantage on the turn-in. They have the turn-in, actually, I believe, on Murden and Caesar Salad.
Yeah, they will go ahead and try and get this in, and it's availability for both teams. It's just who's able to get it in first. We do see Thrall is going to go ahead and get those points and those gems in as well. It looks like Diesel will be doing the exact same thing, and Mysticles will get the Impale there for a second, but the rest of the team doesn't want to let them even walk in on this as they're starting to kind of encroach here in this midpoint for the turn-in.
And Mystically is going to go ahead and just throw the barbs out, get the interrupt. Like I said, this is Noah's territory. If he's nearby, it is very hard to go ahead. Big actually going to get caught out by the slow from Deckard Cain. Gets rooted. No one able to quite get up there. Diesel not able to connect the stun. He's actually getting knocked back by the jump pad. He does not have jump.
No.
Big's going to lift through him. That is a kill going to the side of Divination.
That's
Well
a big
played.
kill for them. That's a very big kill for them. To be able to take the Murden off the table here at this point, only the Leoric is up, and really they're in bottom lane just soaking. So this is probably going to be the first turn in for the members. Oh no, they're not even allowing this to happen. With the poke between Caesar Salad and Thrall on the top and Unaverted and Leoric in this bottom lane, they're not allowing this turn in to happen, but they're maybe even trying to punish this Dunkstik.
Yeah, and Big and Liam trying to go on Unaverted. Actually switching back onto him, using the passive to get the instant Avenging Wrath on Liam to get onto him. No shotgun available to save his life. Howin actually getting knocked back by the Junkrat. He's getting the self-healing down. The bombs come in though. Noah blowing him up. Diesel now has no jump available, but Mysticles does not have another stun. They're going to go ahead and let the turning go by now. Big has it bottom and Noah has it top. Going to be red side turn in Web Weepers activated.
That value from Holy Avenger at 7 on Urel is huge. Being able to reduce the cooldown timer to 1 second after hitting a hero, so that means you can multiply proc that ability and give your teammates 35 armor consistently so long as you're battling in these tight corridors. This is why Urel is such a strong hero, especially on the map like this. With the Stormbolt does come out from Diesel, they go ahead and they get the blow up, and they're looking to counteract this as Mysticles has stepped up, but they back off, as this will still be the first Web Weaver turn-in phase in favor of Divination.
And this is where your team gets punished for not having a cleanse on your support or a trickle-in healer like Lucio or Brightwing. Unable to save the Uriel. She's not quite a 10, does not have the Art of Defender to save her life. Needs to be aware of the burst capabilities of that team. Trying to actually create a pick up here, no one big. Missing the satchel charge to get How-Win out of his phase. This Web Weaver phase, though, just going to kind of fizzle out. Freebirds did an excellent job of defending.
I agree. I think they did a great job. They lost a little bit on their gates, not really giving up too much experience, as Liam's going to be stepping up into Fancy Pants in this bottom lane. The rest of the team, Wolf and Big, are down here, but they actually back right out as they don't really see a couple members on the map. As the other factor, too, is they're walking up and fighting under tower shots. Not worth it. They go ahead and continue back to the rotations as 10 are on the cusp for both these teams. They don't have back-to-back turn-ins, but they're 2 gems away on the side of Divination.
Yeah, and we see Fancy Pants kind of poking on the Liam. Big is here, though, to provide him some support. Deckard, though, also to provide support for Fancy Pants. We see the Cocoon come out. The Riptire not picking up a kill. The shielding coming out onto Unaverted. Gonna save his life. Nothing really followed there, unfortunately. A little ambitious for a 3v3 pick.
I don't... The Cocoon setup was there, but I'm just like, where was the follow-up? Why was it used? I'm missing a piece of the puzzle at this time, but that is every heroic available for the members of Freebirds, and they will be also getting turned in here. This is a little bit of a nerve-wracking spot. The other thing, too, to note, we have Stay a While and Listen from the Deckard Kane. Not going to be going for that Lornado repositioning and playing in those tight corridors, as it looks like Divination may be looking for a pick. Liam has the Holy Avenger ready. I don't know. What do you do with this Dunkstick?
Yeah, and we are going to see actually Earthquake as well, not the Sunder. Pretty much going to negate Lucio's ability to speed up his team. Big and Mysticles. Mysticles is actually taking a ton of damage, and this is the fear from Unaverted. His damage output is not very bursty, but it's very sustaining, and he's very easily able to put a lot of threatening damage on Nubrek. How-Win, though, is alone up here. Impale not going to be able to catch him. Actually, double roots Noah and Mysticles into the Tomb of the Spider Queen wave. Top wave is cleared out, though. Big trying to clear out this middle wave is going to get it, and Uriel actually able to clear the bottom one. Once again, the Spider Queen's not really getting any value, but they will pick up the Fountain in the mid lane.
Yeah, they go ahead, they get themselves some great experience, and they start to open up the map a little bit more, but the next Web Weaver turn phase is really, I think, where we're going to start to see the damage coming out here, as both teams do have that available. I really also quickly, actually, I'm going to hold my breath, as we might be getting a fight here between these teams, as Diesel stepping up. The Impale does come out. There's the Boombox out for the healing. No one looking for the fight just yet, as Thrall and Junkrat are still in that top lane, and these teams are just positioning, looking for the turn-in at this time, Dunkstick.
Yeah, both teams just posturing. It's 11-11. No talent or level of advantage for either side. Fancy Pants is actually a little bit deep in. Actually, the Cursed Bullet coming out from Big. Wolf speeding them up. Here comes the Riptire. They're going to try and find someone. Is it Leoric? Riptire! Boom goes the Skeleton King. No revenge to be had. Diesel actually waiting to come over this wall, maybe thinking about taking those gems. That was 30 gems dropped by Leoric. Excellent pick by the side of Divination.
And they were able to get Liam and Mysticles to turn in on top of that too, so they are sitting at 49 out of the 55 necessary. They took, as you noted, they took out 30 or so gems. That's a huge economy hit to the members of Freebirds, as Divination will get the second turn of the game. Greymane rotating into that top lane, maybe going to try and pressure up that Thrall, but top lane is where we see a lot of teams really start to focus in the later half here. Boss potential into keeps is a really great play, but I'm going to eat my own words, as it looks like this team will start out in mid looking for the pressure there. And in bottom lane is just going to be the 2 solo laners once again. Team spreading themselves out just to soak up here, but this is going to be a Web Weaver phase for Divination Dunkstick.
Yeah, and it looks like the teams are choosing to slow play it. Actually, maybe looking to go top, not looking for that snowball that is a boss call should they take a winning team fight up here in the top lane. Really, they just want to put as much pressure mid, maybe get rid of that Fountain to avoid some easy sustain for the side of Freebirds. They're really far up, though. Big actually moving far into enemy territory. This fort under siege, already at half HP. Big has to be careful about being sealed by the scroll. Diesel getting stunned by the Impale. Looking maybe to go forward. A bug actually blocking the Stormbolt. Not going to be able to get anything. And now they're looking towards mid. The rotation's there, but they're not going to be able to find anything. Junkrat, though, actually going in here, putting the damage onto Fancy Pants. He's actually a little under quarter HP. Wolf, on the other hand, using the boombox to skirt that slow. No action being had. Level 13 to level 13.
Now we're going to be having a little bit of a brawl at this point as Diesel. Oh, the Curse Bullet does come out onto Diesel from Big, but no follow-up damage. The Thrall is right above. Heroics are all off a cooldown except for one here, as I do believe the Riptire has come out at this point. We are going to be having it just leaping and bounding over the walls as Fancy Pants might be in a bad spot. Just going to get hit by that a little bit, and they get right around this. No big deal, and they look for the turn-in on the side of Freebirds, and they have that possibility. It's just, will they be able to
Cocoon's actually going to come out. Mystically's rooting up the Rainer. The bombs are coming wide. Diesel and Caesar taking a bunch of damage. Satchel Charge knocking the Rainer away from the Decker. Kane going to go ahead and try to burn him down. He does fall. The Slayer Wild and Illicit hitting 4 targets, but nothing coming of it. Wolf actually getting the 35 armor from Liam from the Avenging Wrath. Big is going to go in. Diesel at half HP. Liam just keeps going. The interrupt on his Avenging Wrath. Unstoppable coming out of Fancy Pants. He's going to go ahead and Wraith Block away. That's a 1 for none. Excellent pick by Divination.
And get this, a third Webweaver. They have enough for a turn-in. They're going to go ahead and get it. That is going to be a lot of pressure. Now, granted, the lanes aren't crazy pushed up. They can be deep pushed, but they don't have their Rainer. And now they can even just move up. They can take mid fort and bottom fort if they want to before the Webweavers even descend. But actually, with the Bruiser camp in mid, it'll be a little bit harder. Still, though, that was a great pick for them. There's a level deficit between these two teams, and 16s are going to be achieved by the members of Divination fairly quickly, and Freebirds really need to play this smart.
Yeah, actually, taking that fight right then and getting such a good advantage right now is a very big deal for that team. The Scroll Ceiling come out, going to do a little bit of damage. Webweaver in the bottom going to be cleared out. Skeleton King working on the top one. They're going to go ahead and rotate down. Look at the speed boost from Wolf. He's getting them up there. Win is in the cocoon. Diesel's here. Skeleton King is nowhere to be found. They're going to try and create this pick. Here comes the root. Actually going to use the root. The Cursed Bullet comes out. He falls almost instantly. Stand while listen, hitting 4 targets. Not able to stop, though, the kill. Caesar actually now stuck on the outside. The Riptire ripped Caesar salad. Gonna pick up that 2 for none. They're gonna work on these walls. No more spiders available, but they have the minions here for the push.
That was those are the 2 picks that you need, and Divination, with the advantage that they have in over 10 seconds on both these heroes, they want to get a lot of work done. Grabbing this keep is the best pressure they can put on the map. I don't think this is going to be game ending unless they can maybe stagger a couple deaths more. It's not going to be happening, but that still is a keep in bottom lane gone. That means there'll be consistent catapult pressure in that lane they're going to need to respond to, and they can kind of, I wouldn't say freely soak, but they've got a little bit more of an easier time on this map because now you'll know that there's always going to be a rotation to this bottom to get this clear.
And I've talked to many players. The relatively weak Spider Queens in the early to mid game make it very difficult to get a keep, to the point that if you do get a keep, it becomes astronomically harder for the opposing team to win the game. We do see Mystically's going for the interrupt, just throwing down the bed of barbs. Diesel actually setting him out. Once again, it is the Junkrat bombs, though, coming in, trying to interrupt Fancy Pants. Wolf sneaking in, not able to connect. He actually gets stunned, taking a ton of damage from Diesel. The Cursed Bullet does come out. Diesel taking half his HP. Fancy Pants doing what he can to reduce their damage with his Wake Wall talent. Not able to connect his Drain Health, though. That's 30 gems in. The Cocoon, though, coming out onto the Rainer. Stay a while and listen, being used. The Riptire coming around. Gonna try and find Diesel, and Fancy Pants does a ton of damage. Diesel falling low. The Nubrak actually half HP. Entomb stopping 3 targets. Ardent Defender is used by the Urel. Fancy Pants, though, is very low. Going to fall. He is the first kill. Diesel getting stunned out. He has to jump away. Howwind trying to stay in this fight. Gonna use Lightning Breath. Sorry, the Lightning to get away. They are just gonna step away, though.
Holy crap. And Holy Avenger on top of that, because Ace of the Light doing so much of that level 4, that 35 armor for the team. You can see Liam consistently throughout that fight utilizing that ability to make sure they're bolstering the team's armor anytime there's any sort of big blow up that could potentially come in. A great play from Divination. That's all I can say is we are going to be having this match progress here a little bit more. No turn available for the oh my god, Fancy Pants getting dove on. That is a kill, and that is not a death that they wanted on the side of Freebirds.
That's going to be boss. 35 seconds on the skeleton.
Bottom lane camp.
Bottom lane is there. They're the siege camp with the catapults working on the core. That's core damage already. It's still going 91%. It's just Decker here with now Thrall. 12% damage for free for the side of Divination.
That is, it's not the biggest thing on the world, but the thing is, your core is now 12% weaker. And that does add up, as this will be a Webweaver phase for Freebirds, but a boss was picked up 16 minutes into this game on the side of Divination. So top lane, I think, is going to be kind of moot at this point. They'll be able to rotate to their worst lane, which is mid, and top lane has to be addressed. So realistically, this just buys time for Freebirds to get a little bit of breathing room and maybe look for a pick after clearing out the boss. But realistically, this gem turn-in really won't do much for them.
Yeah, the gem turn-in is not really going to get any value for them. They are going to lose the tower, it looks like, up here. Nothing else. But we do see Divination, though, half a level from level 20. That is the most fearful thing for the side of Freebirds now. 17 to 19, 2-level advantage, and the next Spider Queen, I believe, is almost available for the side of Divination. They're very close on their gem count. I think they need about 50 total. I can't remember the count before they spawn.
I'm looking at their carried right now, and they're sitting pretty good. I'm doing quick math in my head. I think they're close to the 65 necessary. They might need a couple waves, but that will be top fort going down. We do need to also, consider that these are 16, 17-minute web weavers. They do siege very well, especially with a friendly team, as they do want to aggress onto this. Yrel, though, pushing mid lane very far out. The Riptire will be coming out at this time, just as on the way also clear out the web weaver. They back out as they do not want to take a fight any longer.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, within that few seconds they were on the wall, Junkrat actually got another 20 stacks on his foretalent. He's up to 100 stacks, which is 50 extra damage per grenade, which is 200 overall if he hits all 4.
That is ridiculous. And actually, talking about questing talents really quickly, Murden did finish the Stormbolt baseline quest. We also had Thrall finishing the Echo to the Elements, as well as Anubarak finishing Regeneration Masters. So just kind of keying everyone in on those, as I think those are the only questing talents that we already had hit on Junkrat's level 4, Taste for Explosions, as this will be a mid lane camp pressuring here. They do have enough for a turn-in on the side of Divination. Do you think they're able to do more than just get a keep, or do you think they can end with this?
They have the siege camp with catapults already in the bottom lane. It's going to force the Skeleton King to be there. They're actually holding the turn-in. I actually really like that idea. Get the top lane pushed out towards the middle. They don't want any of their lanes sitting on their side. Look at this Bruiser camp. They're going to go ahead and clear it out. Take theirs as well as clear out the one in mid. Make sure that their Spider Queen is not being interrupted by these Bruisers.
The other thing, too, is having your Bruisers allows, I think it is 10 spell armor for the friendly team within the circle from the mage. So that is just a benefit to have as you do want to siege into the mid lane, which is looking like their goal at this point. They've actually they prepped the lane, and the opposing team is already kind of waiting at the keep front gate saying, you know what, try and, move in on us. You do have Storm Talent tiers. We'll see what they're able to do, though, on the side of Freebird, Dunkstik.
Yeah, and Cannonball as well as Hunter's Blunderbuss, allowing for so much more splash damage for the side of Divination. They're going to have a ton of poke. The bombs are just going to keep coming in. We are going to see the Cocoon. The start of the fight, Riptire is available. Steezel actually getting this done onto Noah, interrupting the Riptire. Unaverted taking a ton of damage. Earthquake is available. The Yrel doing a ton of damage to Caesar Salad as well as Raynor. Caesar Salad is the first to fall on Deckard. How Win is very low. Mystically is going in with the Burrow, trying to get that 4-man reset. Gets rooted, is getting full healed by the Lucio. Thrall is going to fall next by the Junkrat. Big closing in on the Skeleton King. Unaverted is the only one left. Double Spider Queen on the core. This is going to be GG. Divination taking game 1, looking for more kills. They want to kill them out. Game number 1, Divination. Congratulations.
GG's indeed, as that was I wouldn't say decisive, but a very well controlled and a very well played game from Divination, as they've done an amazing thing here, and they have put some hurt onto Freebirds. And you and I were actually discussing this off stream, and we were just like, we're going to be casting Freebirds and Divination, which we were also just a little bit like, wait, why is the mainstream not taking this one? But we get to cast all the fun here, and so this is, tell everyone that this is really going to be the good matchup, because between Dunk and I, we were both thinking that Freebirds had the upper hand in this situation, at least looking at the stats, looking at previous cups. But Divination coming out in this first game really showing us wrong. And also Junkrat with a clean 198,000 siege damage during that entire game. It's just a perfectly rounded siege number, but at the same time, that is a lot of sieging that Junkrat did.
Yeah, and looking at the numbers as well, Greymane actually topping the damage meter at 76,000 damage, 12,000 more damage than the next player, even beating out the Junkrat poke. And I attribute a lot of that to the fact that Big was highly abusing his 30-second cursed bullet talent to really put the hurt onto Diesel or Leoric at any time he could. Really good control with that ultimate. Honestly, it's not commonly used as like a poking talent, but with the low talent and just pushing them off the engages, or maybe trying to force an avatar when he maybe doesn't want to, because it's a lower cooldown, he can essentially then get it back off cooldown in time for the next fight. But excellent play by Divination taking that game 1.
Yeah, they had consistent dive and consistent burn and blow up onto so many of the members of Freebirds that I think that that pressure was a little bit too much for Caesar Salad to heal through. There were, not to say that Decker can't heal through it, but I think it's just they knew how to prioritize in fights. I think Divination had great shot calling, great decisions inside all these fights, as well as just their overall map presence was really, really well coordinated. I gotta say, Divination coming out today in this losers bracket really showing that they want to stay within the HGC Open Division playoffs, and they might be able to knock out Freebirds. But this is a best of 3, Dunk. We're not going to be going anywhere just yet, as we still need to go to the next map, which is going to be Dragonshire.